necessarily those of this radio station, its staff, management, or other sponsors.
Hello, this is Gina Romano, and you're listening to Edge UK Studio Thursday Reports. Today I'm filling in for our host, Andy Radford, who's busy working on Saturday's show with Daniel Ott. The Thursday Reports are for the viewers and listeners of The Edge. If you'd like to become a correspondent or would like to submit information, please contact Andy Radford at andy@theedgeam.com. Our guest for today is Russ Dizdar of ShatterTheDarkness.net. Russ founded Shatter the Darkness in the 1980s when he was the director of Akron Youth for Christ. Shatter's ministry grew for the next 20 years with hundreds coming to Shatter for deliverance and inner healing power. Russ has worked with many victims of satanic ritual abuse and has worked to uncover the infiltration of our churches, government, and military by Satanists. In his new book, Black Awakening, Russ reveals Satan's super soldiers and their Luciferian agenda to help the Antichrist rise to power by annihilating the Jewish nation and all Christianity. The term Black Awakening was created by the Satanists themselves. During his interview, Russ discusses Satanism and organized stalking and how this campaign of terror is carried out by Satanists who have electromagnetic weaponry including the technology that has the ability to project the voices of God to their victims. According to Russ, the Satanists are in a reconnaissance stage where they are observing and running covert campaigns of terror through organized stalking and other methods to deceive and terrorize the population. Russ talks about Nazi Germany and the Hitler regime and how the satanic agenda of Hitler's reign never ended, but continued to grow to the massive infiltration we are witnessing today. Now here's the interview. Hi, this is Gina Romano, Edge Correspondent. Today I'm here with Russ Dizdar of ShatterTheDarkness.net. Russ is here to help us uncover the Luciferian Agenda that is occurring right now here in front of all of us in the world today, and talk a little bit about organized stalking and his book, The Black Awakening. Russ, are you there?
It's great to be here, yes.
Thank you.
I appreciate being here. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. What you had to say is so valuable, especially during this time period, and I want to say how much I admire you for your work and your courage to bring this out and to face this so boldly. Thank you on behalf of all of us. It's fantastic. The first question I want to ask you is about the infiltration of our churches. And then I'd like to go on to the military. You have these MP3s or these CDs on your website, ShatterTheDarkness.net, and they're incredible. So why don't you begin by telling us about the satanic infiltration of our churches and why it's happening, and if it's leading up to the apostasy or if that's occurring right now?
Okay. Sure. The infiltration of the church is all that know. We have like 3 hours of those. They're all free. We have them out there. They're the #1 downloaded thing off our site. And so it's been interesting. We're going to add probably about 4 or 5 more hours here pretty soon to it. But we encountered this some time back. I mean, now that I even look further back, because I've been a pastor 30 years in 4 different churches, and I've only been away from pastoring 2 years doing what I do now full-time. And what we've seen, in dealing with what we call undergrounders, they call themselves chosen ones, or one of them used the phrase satanic super soldier or satanic warrior monk. These are individuals raised in transgenerational satanic, coven-oriented groups, bloodlines to old Europe, and literally we estimate up to this point 10 million. And at least 4.5 million have entered psych wards, other places, and they've been diagnosed. Many of them diagnosed with multiple personality disorder, things like that. And what we did in our ministry with them is begin to listen to their stories clear back into the 80s. We'd hear them talk about them being dragged off to covens or groups or military sub-basements, places, doctors, sub-basements, all over. So we decided back then, without telling them or anybody else, that we would develop a team and track it. And we would do prayer. We would use prayer, and we would use everything we can learn out of law enforcement. We had folks that were ex-law enforcement guys, and we would do surveillance and track. And we spent thousands and thousands and thousands of hours, even going to other states, every place, to do surveillance, watch. And every bit of information people gave us, what we do is just follow up on it. We wanted to find out, the reality of these stories. And that brought us to encounters with these people that became very angry, began to threaten us. We began to see what they would use and how they did things with individuals and where some of the connections are. So for us, it's even though we'll have it out, it's out in the MP3s, it'll be out in book stuff soon. It's based on the experiences we've had in over 20-some years, and there's a lot of individuals that have been crying out. We've dealt with so many of them. Again, I've spent thousands of hours with them, Gina, and talking with them. We would get them in the car with team members, and we would let them take us anywhere, other states, wherever, to dig up things, to show us houses, to show us bases, wooded areas, wherever, to kind of verify the stories they had, and then really kind of begin to track down some of the perpetrators. And then here's the facts. They're definitely out there. It's definitely organized. It's been going on some time. And as far as infiltration in the church,